circulatory system. You can have your textbooks with you so that you can relate whatever I am teaching. So let's start with this circulatory system. I think you understand by the word circulation. Okay. So circulation means to distribute, okay, to transport or to carry. You can use any of these words for it. Okay, it can distribute, it can transport, or it can carry. That is called circulatory system. Right? Now, as we have different systems in our body, one of the most important is circulatory. Why is it important? Because the main thing through which respiration occurs, that is oxygen and CO2. We inhale oxygen, we exhale CO2. Okay, these gases are entering and exiting our body through respiratory system. But once it is entering respiratory system, then what happens? Okay, then circulatory system is what it is doing. It is transporting these two in the whole body to distribute oxygen and to carry CO2 from the all the body parts. That is what the circulatory system does. Okay. Apart from this, it also helps in transporting nutrients. Nutrients means everything like carbohydrates, lipids, fats, okay, then proteins, minerals. Minerals include everything: iron, magnesium, manganese, everything, whatever XYZ minerals are there, they are all transported in our body with the help of circulatory system. Now, in our body, the most important fluid, okay, the fluid which is very much important in our body is called blood. Okay. So blood is present at each and every corner of our body. Okay, you can wherever you can can have the experiment that whenever it is piercing or you are having pierce done, then the blood flows out of our body. Okay, that means it is present even at the toe of your body, even at the head of your body. So each and every each inch of your body is filled with blood, because blood is the fluid which is responsible for transport of O2 and CO2. Now, do understand this. This blood is transported in our body through vessels. Okay, for understanding these vessels, we have to understand one system also. Okay, now see this circulatory system is of two types. One is open, another one is closed. Okay, what do you mean by this close and open? It's like, first see this closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system is the one system which we are having. It is present in humans. Closed circulatory system. So what is happening here, that the blood is present in heart. Okay, the blood is present in heart. It travels through one channel. It reaches to organs. It completes its work, and from organ it travels back to the heart. Okay, so closed circulatory system means it comes out of the heart in particular vessel or channel, then it reaches to the organ, and from organs it is again back to the heart. It never flows without these channels. Okay, without these vessels. It requires these vessels to flow from one end to another. While in open circulatory system, what happens? So wherever the heart is there, through this, the blood will come out. Okay. And it is released in the body. Whole body should be released. Then whatever the function has to be done, it is completed, and that after completion of that, it again goes back to the heart for its proper purification. So there is no obstruction. It is free in the body. Okay, and it reaches to the organs freely. No channels are there, nothing like that happens. So that is called open circulatory system. This type of system is present in many of the insects, okay, and many of the small organisms in which the body is very small, so that the blood can be flown easily to the whole body. Understood this? Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
ma'am.
Okay. Now see, closed and open circulatory system are the way the blood should flow in the body. Now, for as we are studying right now the circulatory system of humans, so what is more important for this is that how this whole thing works out or it functions. So see here that we have some of the other important fluids also in our body. The first which we have seen is blood. Another one is tissue fluid. Okay, and another one is lymph. Okay, so blood is definitely the one which we are going to study in too much of detail, because it includes heart, it includes blood vessels. Okay, and in that blood vessels we are including arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay, so this is definitely we are going to study, but tissue fluid and lymph are also very much important, because what they do is they support blood and heart for the proper functioning of the body. Okay, without these fluids, it is difficult for the blood to remain pure or to remain oxygenated. Okay, so what do you mean by oxygenated, deoxygenated, that we will see. But first see this tissue fluid is also called interstitial fluid. Okay, so interstitial fluid, what does that mean? You have cells in your body. Okay, you must have seen that in your cause class 5th or class 6th, class 7th, you must have studied that cells, when form the group, they form the tissue. Have you studied this?
Yes, miss.
Okay, and then tissue forms the organs. Organ forms the organ system. Okay, so interstitial fluid or tissue fluid, what does that mean actually is, so we are going to at the level of cells. It is present, suppose you have cells like this. Okay, so there is a space between all these cells. Okay, can you see the space? This space is filled with interstitial fluid or tissue fluid. Okay, so this space is also called intercellular spaces. Okay, and all these spaces are responsible for the cellular level of respiration. Now see, what I'm saying you will understand, that these cells is filled with the fluid present in this spaces. Okay, so these cells, whenever they need oxygen, they will intake oxygen from these fluids. They want to release CO2, then they will release CO2 in these spaces. This is called intercellular space, okay, or interstitial space. Okay, now if the space, do understand this, you may come across with these two words, intercellular or intracellular. Have you heard these words?
No, miss.
Okay, fine. Now listen this. If it is intracellular, intra, okay, that means inside the cell. And if it is intercellular, okay, see here it is written interstitial. So inter means it is space with between the cells. Is it clear to you now?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So intra means inside the cell we are talking, and inter means between the cells we are talking. So there should be exchange of gases from one cell to another. Okay. So whenever they need oxygen, it can be uptaken by in from the space, and when they have to release CO2, it comes out in this space. That is why it is called inter. Inter means over here. Okay. Now is it clear to you all?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So this is what the tissue fluid is. Okay. Now you have lymph. Lymph is what? It is colorless fluid. Okay. And this colorless fluid is also having vessels. That is called lymphatic vessels. For blood, we have blood vessels. For lymph, you have lymphatic vessels. Okay. Now, do understand this. Why we need lymph also to flow inside our body? That means, first of all, to understand this, that if this is the heart, okay, and you have the blood coming out of it, which reaches to organs. Okay. Then now understand this very carefully. Heart provides pure blood. Pure blood means the blood which contains oxygen. Okay. The heart gives out the blood which contains oxygen and it reaches to the organs. Once organs utilize this particular blood, then this blood is having CO2. Okay. So from heart it is having oxygen in it. Once it reaches to the organs utilize the whole oxygen from the blood and releases CO2 in it. When CO2 is being released, then the blood becomes deoxygenated, or in lower classes you must have studied that impure blood, pure blood. Same thing happens with this. Okay, now see, when the blood flows from the heart, it is having lot of pressure. Okay, the heart pumps the blood like this. Okay, and it gives out with a lot of pressure. So whenever the blood flows from this vessel, it is with a very big uh, force in it. Okay, huge force is there. So whenever the blood flows with the force, what happens? It releases, because these vessels are little bit porous. Do you understand this word porous?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. You understand this word porous, right? So vessels are basically porous in nature. So what they do, what happens is whenever the blood flows with a high speed and big force, then it releases little amount of fluid from it. Okay, and that fluid is carried out by another vessel which is called lymphatic vessels. These vessels, what they do, whatever the fluid is released by the blood vessels, they just absorb it. Okay, they just absorb it, and then they are also distributing that fluid in the body. Okay, is it clear to you? Is it clear whatever I say?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So it is being absorbed by lymphatic vessels. So what happens is RBC, red blood cells, never comes out of these vessels. So whatever is coming out is completely colorless. It doesn't have the color, and that is why the lymph is colorless fluid. So it flows through these vessels, and it helps in the transportation of other necessary requirements. Okay, so to understand this, that sometimes it releases some of the minerals, some of the uh, antibodies. Antibodies are nothing but the soldiers of our body. Okay, you must have studied white blood cells. They are the soldiers of our body. Same like white blood cells, there are antibodies in our body. Or sometimes they got released from the blood and they are absorbed by lymphatic vessels. So once they are released, they should not be wasted. So they are absorbed by lymphatic vessels to get transported to the other organs or wherever they are required. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So for these lymphatic lymph, you have some of the special organs which functions for the lymph are spleen. Okay, then you have some of the glands working for it. They are thyroid glands. They help your body in protecting from many of the diseases. Without these, you can have the diseases like the deficiency, or your immunity goes down. Just because of lymph, your immunity works out properly. Okay, now anything to be asked? You have doubts? Okay, fine. So now once you are clear with the closed and open circulatory system, you are clear with the fluids present in our body. Okay, three types of fluids are there: blood, tissue fluid or interstitial fluid, okay, and lymph. Now see this, uh, how our circulatory system works. So we will be now going to the heart and blood vessels, what they do actually, and how does it works. So main blood vessels are arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay. So, what is the basic difference about arteries, veins, and capillaries is that arteries are the one which takes the blood away from the heart. That means from heart to organs. Okay. While veins are, they bring the blood from the organs to the heart. See, I am using different colors over here just to make you understand that heart gives you the blood with the oxygen that is pure. Okay, that's why I took red color for it, because the color of the blood is red. Okay, so heart gives out the pure blood to the organs. Organs utilize the blood and make it deoxygenated. Blue color, if I'm showing, that means deoxygenated blood, and it is given back to the heart. Okay. Now, next one is capillaries. See, capillaries are present at the end of both arteries and veins. Wherever the arteries are ending, they end with capillaries. And wherever the veins are ending, they are also ending with the capillaries. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, capillaries are the one which connects organs directly to the veins or arteries. Okay, capillaries are responsible for doing the major function of exchange. Okay, exchange of oxygen, exchange of CO2, exchange of water, whatever is main function is happening with the help of blood. It is at where it is happening. It is happening where the capillaries are present. Okay, arteries and veins just carry the blood. They don't do any function for it. Okay, but the exchange function is done by the capillaries. Clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Mm, now the thing is, let's begin with the heart. So, heart. The most important, first of all, this heart is the organ which starts working from the day you are born. Born, that means you are inside your mother's body. From that time, it starts working and it works till you die. Do you know this?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, heart is the organ which starts working when you are even not out in the world. You are still inside the womb of your mother. Okay. At that time, it gets developed and it starts pumping and working for you. So, that particular organ will continuously work till you die. That means till you die, that means once it stops working, then you die. You don't die first. You have the heart stops working, then you are dead. Understood this? So why how does this happen? What is the specialty for the heart? Why is it so? Why doesn't get tired? Why it doesn't stop? Because you sleep in a day, you sleep at a night. Heart can also think, let me sleep for a while. Okay, if heart thinks like that, then you know what happens with you. Okay, so the thing is, the heart is made up of special muscles and they are called cardiac muscles. Okay, cardiac. You must have seen in the hospital that wherever the patients for the heart goes, that section is called cardiology, or the doctor is called cardiologist. Have you heard this or seen it?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So cardiac, that means you are working some or doing something for the heart. So these muscles have speciality that they don't get tired. The muscles in your arms, the muscles in your legs gets tired if you if you work continuously, if you walk continuously, then what happens? The muscles in your legs, the muscles in your hands gets tired. Even the muscles of your eyes get tired, you know. When you watch TV continuously or you are awake for uh, longer duration, if you haven't took rest properly, then your eyes got painful. You feel like that your eyes are tired, your eyes are feeling little bit of pain. That means the muscles of the eyes also gets tired. Okay, but the only the muscle in your heart that doesn't feel the tiring is called cardiac muscles. Is it clear to you? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. I thought the connection is gone. But now, so these cardiac muscles are continuously working once they are formed. Now, once these muscles are working, the first thing that is the heart has to be kept protected in your body. And how it is protected? Have you heard about the word lamination?
Yes, miss.
Okay, you must have protected your documents with the help of lamination. Okay, so the same thing is done for each and every organ in our body. Okay, your kidney, your liver, your digestive system means stomach, or whatever your part in you can consider. Every part of our body is laminated by a layer, transparent layer, and that is what with the heart is also there. That heart is laminated by the layer, and that is called pericardium. It is double layer. Double layer protection is provided to the heart. It is covered by two layers and both of them are transparent. Okay, so this pericardium is laminating the heart in with the help of two layers. Now, these two layers, they have the space between them, and that space is filled with fluid, and that fluid is called pericardial fluid. Okay. Now, why the fluid is filled between these two layers? Can any of you answer?
Miss, to protect the heart from any shock or jerks.
Okay, shock or jerks. Okay, fine. Anything else? Okay, fine. So that is true. These layers help the heart to protect it from shock or jerk. That means whenever you run or whenever somebody just hits you on the chest, the heart has to be kept protected from the shocks and jerks. Okay, sometimes you just get banged with the ball or something, so that you just feel the pain on your chest. Does your heart gets hurt?
No, miss.
Okay. Now, so this particular fluid helps the heart to get it protected from the shocks and jerks. And just because of lamination, this heart remains at the place where it should be. Otherwise, what will happen? If you run, your heart will went down to your stomach. It will move to your stomach because you will move very harshly. So these layers kept keeps the organ at the place where it should be present, and it helps the heart from the shocks or jerks. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So let's begin with the structure of heart. And I think you must be knowing this, that what is the size of your heart is the if you close your fist like this by keeping your thumb inside and four fingers like this is the size of your heart. Okay, so you can see what is the size of your heart right now. The whatever is the size of your fist, it will be the size of your heart. So big fist, big heart. Small fist, small heart. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now see here. The heart structure of heart we will see. Hmm. So, first of all, our heart is made up of 4 chambers. Okay. So, see that if we consider basically the heart is not having the shape you are drawing in your books, or you must have seen in greeting cards. It is not like that. It is much more seen like an apple. Okay. If you see the heart in your literally, then it is not as artistic as you draw in your books. So let's see how does it looks basically. It looks like a pear or a apple shape little bit. So let's see that if it is a heart. Okay, so how it is divided into 4 chambers. So first of all, you have to, whatever you are observing right now is the heart in front of you. The one heart which you are visualizing right now is of somebody else. So the left of yours will be the right of this heart, and this should be the left. So left side. Is it clear? We will, for you it should be right, and this should be left. Okay. Now we will classify this heart with the basis of its structure. See here, the heart is divided into 4 chambers. First of all, let's take it, cut it vertically. If you cut the heart vertically or internally, if you open it, then you will see that heart is divided into 2 sections. Okay, here and here. And this is, that division is called septum. This division is called septum. While it divides the heart like this also. There is one more septum over here, and this is how the heart is divided into 4 chambers. Now see, the upper portion of your heart are called auricles. Okay, these are the auricles. So on the right side it is there. So this is called right auricle. And because this is on the left side, this is called left auricle. Okay, so 2 auricles on the upper side of the heart is there, and the lower one is called ventricles. Okay, right ventricle and left ventricle. Can you see this? Okay, let's move further. Now see, we will learn first of all the major things required for the formation of heart. So these divisions are called septum. These portions are called auricles. These portions are called ventricles. Okay. Now see here that auricle and ventricle should have one gate or opening. Okay. Same thing should be here, that left auricle and left ventricle should also have opening, so that they can allow the blood from this to this or this to this, that we will see further, but there should be one gate for the proper movement. So there is a valve-like structure, and that valve is called, if it is present on the right side, then it is seen like this. Okay, this is a gate which allows the blood to flow from auricles to ventricles. So this is the valve which opens like this. Whenever the blood flows, these two will come down and this will get lifted up so that blood can be allowed to enter. And because they are three in parts, it is called tricuspid valve. This is called tricuspid valve. While here it is like this, 2-inch shape. So this is called bicuspid valves. Okay, so whenever the blood flow starts, then these will open up like this and the blood will flow. Once it is done, they will get closed. Here what happens? Whenever the blood flows, they will move down to allow the blood to move. Then once the work is done, they will move up so that it can be closed. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. Now, another one. The one which carries the blood. So, another thing we will take is our whole body is supplying the blood to the heart. Supplying means whatever is utilized, it is given back to the heart. So when it is coming from the upper side of our body, if this is the heart, then your chest, some of the part of your chest, your neck, your head, everything, shoulders must be above this. So whatever blood is coming out from this portion of your body, it is coming back to the heart with the help of a big, thick blood vessel. Okay. And that is called superior because it is above side, above to the heart. That is why it is called superior vena cava. Okay. And if it is from the lower side of your body, then the blood is getting collected in this thick vessel. Okay. And this is called inferior vena cava. Okay. Now see, superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Where do they actually go? This superior vena cava will enter the auricle and it gets opened somewhere here. Once it is inside, you cannot see it, but it has one of the opening over here so that it can allow the blood to flow inside the auricle. Similarly, inferior vena cava, it moves like this, goes back to the heart, and from inside it enters the auricle somewhere here. Okay, so this is the opening for inferior and this is the opening for superior. and then both of them will dump the blood in the right auricle from the whole heart. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then these superior and inferior vena cava. Now, so whatever blood is carried out by them, see, I have seen blue color for this. That means it is completely deoxygenated, okay, without oxygen, and it is poured, both of them, means the deoxygenated blood of the whole body is collected by these two vessels and they are poured in the right auricle. Okay, so this is how the vena cava work. Now see what happens with the another one is another vessel. We will have a look for this, that whatever blood is filled over here, it has to be entered in the ventricles. Okay, so ventricles also have the blood which is going to be purified. So how does it being carried, that we will see. So this ventricle will have a opening, okay, and from this the vessel will run and it will get divided into two sides. One will go to the right side and another one will go to the left side. Okay, so right and left. So what we are having on the right and left of the heart is lungs. So this vessel will collect the blood from the ventricles and it will be carried out in this vessel and it will be transported to the lungs. Is it clear to you? And this particular vessel is called pulmonary trunk or pulmonary aorta. You can utilize both of the words for this. So, pulmonary, wherever the word pulmonary comes, it is related to lungs. Is it clear to you? Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So, this is what happens with the impure blood or the deoxygenated blood. Now, now what happens? As this is aorta, it will be classified into artery to the lungs, then capillaries. Is it clear? So pulmonary aorta gets classified into pulmonary arteries, then pulmonary capillaries. Now, it will give the CO2 back to the lung and it will take up the fresh oxygen from the lungs. Then this blood will be collected by veins. Okay, now see, these veins will collect the blood and it will again come back to the heart. From this side also they will come up again. See the two openings over on this side. Okay, so these are pulmonary veins. These pulmonary veins will give the blood to the heart, and that blood carries the oxygen with it. Is it clear to you? Now see, as the blood is poured in the left auricle to open these valves, and once these valves are opened, the blood flows in the left ventricle, and this blood, the one which is having pure oxygen with it, will be collected by one of the blood vessel, and it is a big thick blood vessel actually, and this is how it gets divided. So this blood vessel will start from here, it will move from this, and it gets divided on the upper side, and one of the its point will come to the lower side to give the blood to the organs that is oxygenated, and this particular uh, aorta is called systemic aorta. This is called systemic aorta. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, from where does the sound come of the heart?
Pardon, can you repeat your question, please?
Ma'am, from where does the sound come from the heart?
Okay, your heartbeat you want to ask me. How does it created?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, first of all, I will be taking up that too. You have one of the most important one node is there. You have a node over here. Node means collection of thick tissue on your heart, and that is called sinoatrial node. Okay, so this node creates or gives a shock to the heart. That means electric shock, something like that. And but it is very mild in nature. Okay, it doesn't make you dead. So it creates a little bit of electricity over here so that your heart can beat or pump. So whenever the pumping of the heart is done, it is because of it is definitely a mechanical process, but it requires little bit of energy, and that energy has to be electric in nature. So that energy is provided by sinoatrial node. When this energy is provided to the heart, your heart will start pumping, and when these whatever happens is that the blood flows from auricle to ventricles, then ventricles to these aorta. these aorta are also having the valves inside them. Okay, they are also having valves. The way you have tricuspid and bicuspid, here also valves are present, and these valves are semi-lunar valves. Lunar means moon. Lunar means moon. Semi-lunar means like half moon. They look like half moon in nature. So these valves, when they collect the blood, they will get open, and once the collection is done, they will get closed. The sound will be made dub. The sound will be made. At that time, you can hear your heartbeat. Same thing happens over here. If you have observed carefully, there are two sounds in your heartbeat. One is little bit more and another one is little bit at the down level. Have you heard it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can hear the two sounds of your heartbeat. The tick, the tick, the two sounds which is coming, and in English it is called lub and dub. But the thing is, whenever these walls get closed, they will make sound, and that is what you hear when you hear your heartbeat. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is how it is working. So are you clear with the these vessels, whatever I have shown to you?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now listen, see, this is how I draw. I know I'm not very good with the drawing, but you have to bear with my drawing right now. If you are a good artist, then please help me out with it. Okay. So the thing is, let's see, the important part of this right now is that we have heart, and heart have so many vessels working. So first we can take is vena cava. Okay, so
Ma'am,
vena
from
cava.
8 o'clock we have school. Ma'am, we have school online classes.
Okay, fine. I am just fine. So I will wind it up. Just give me 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we have vena cava, and we have pulmonary artery, we have pulmonary veins, systemic aortas, and other arteries too. So that we will see. Okay, fine. So in the next class, you have classes. Just do one thing for me. I think all of you are from the different schools.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you. Okay, fine. Do
Not
one
all
thing.
of.
Okay, whatever the number is, just make sure, do one thing for me is that one of you from your school, if you belong to, suppose if you belong to Riverside, then one of you from the Riverside, do one thing that write your syllabus for your exams. I think your exams must be in September.
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me the syllabus for your exams, and dates are there with you when your exams will be conducted?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes, we have reverse.
Okay, just, but you must be having the syllabus for your exams.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just write the name of your school. Okay, whatever the name of your, if it is, I actually I know this school by name. Okay, if you belong to this school, just write the name of your school and write the name of the chapters.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and just pass that message in the group. So you have a group, WhatsApp group of our my school. In that group, you just write it down and pass it on, so that I can see whatever is remaining and what is being lost, so that we will be covering as soon as possible.
Miss, only 2 chapters are left. The circulatory system and food production.
Okay, only these 2 chapters are remaining. Rest of the things are done.
Ma'am,
Yes,
food
miss.
production is done.
Food
Okay.
production not.
Okay, fine. If it is not done, then we will do it.
Ma'am,
Okay.
sir has completed it.
Okay, fine. Okay. You just write your syllabus, then we will have a look on it. Okay. And if it is not done for anybody, we will have see that I will give the class for that student. Okay. Fine. Just write down in the group whenever you have the time after finishing your school. No need to worry right now. Is it clear?
Miss, we will write the first term syllabus.
Yes, whatever is coming up in the upcoming exams, that much you have to give.
Miss, the whole syllabus or the chapters which are left to for study?
No. Everything, whatever is coming in your school exams till September. Okay, I think you must be calling it half yearly or midterm, whatever you are saying, whatever terms you are using for this. So you have the exams in September, just write down the chapters, whatever the chapters are coming in the exams for the month of September. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just do that, and after you finish your school. Okay, so just wind it up and we will meet in the next week. And have a good day.
Thank you, Miss.
Good
Okay.
morning and thank you, Miss.
Okay, beta.
Thank you, Miss. Miss, we will leave.
Yeah, you can. You have the school with right
Yes,
now.
Miss. We have
Okay. Yes. You
test
can
also.
leave. Yes, you can leave.